Good evening. How are you? I hope everybody's well. Sorry, we're getting away a little bit later than expected tonight, but we should be on stream in a minute or so. In the meantime, if you'd like to win the FS19 Alpine Farming DLC, you can click on the link in the chat now, and it will take you through to a gleam.io page. And all you have to do is follow a few pages and you will get a chance to, well, 6 chances if I'm not mistaken, to go and win entry into the competition. So what we've got so far is, as last week I was telling you about my Uncle Paolo, who had been arrested because of something that he had done that's not very clear as to what his lawyer was saying. Fortunately, I got hold of an English-speaking lawyer, not an Italian lawyer that tried to speak English. All due respect, I couldn't understand the word the guy was saying. But you find me early in the morning the next day. I've had a chance to speak to his lawyer, or his other lawyer, one of his team, Erwin. And Erwin has actually updated us on the status of what's going on. Gorge Rabbit, I'm very good, thank you. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate your continued support. It's pretty awesome. So all you've missed since yesterday was I've managed to buy some trailers. Unfortunately, there's nothing cheap in this area. We can't do contracts because we don't own the equipment to do the contracts with. We can't get any kind of financing because well, we're a foreigner in the country, so nobody's prepared to even help us out a little bit. And yeah, the worst of all is I managed to land myself into some deep water. So I went along and I just started chopping up trees on the farm, and I ended up making 2 big mistakes. And I got nailed about this, but fortunately the officer I was dealing with, he agreed to let me rebuild the damage, and I didn't get fined as much as I just had to pay for the fix. So I was harvesting trees on the wrong farm to start with, and secondly, I didn't have a permit to actually harvest the trees, so or at least cut down the trees. So and I do this every time. This little trailer is too light. I really need to upgrade to a bigger vehicle very soon. So in any case, I have to replant 2 trees for every tree that I've cut down, first of all. And then I have to also go and pay for all the trees that I'm going to replant. Now 20 trees are 1,000 euros. Now for somebody who is not making much money at all other than cutting trees down, this is not a great position to be in. So I'll take you up to what I did yesterday after your lift. Is that a little bit better? I think it might be a little bit loud. And tell me if the volume is okay and if the static is gone. So in any case, I'm going to take you to the farm and show you what I've done. Like I said, I managed to buy myself 2 trailers, so I can take back probably about 4,000 euros worth of trees each time. It's just a little bit... excellent, thanks, Engorged Rabbit. It's just a little bit of a slow process. So let me park here, hopefully I don't get another fine. So I went along and I chopped trees down in this piece of field over here. That piece of field doesn't belong to me. Well, not to me, but to my Uncle Paolo. This is the field that belongs to my Uncle Paolo. So you'll see I worked a bit late yesterday, and I went and harvested quite a few more trees. But that is, unfortunately, part of the problem. So now up on the hill here, you'll see there's 2 stacks of trees that have been delivered for me that I have to go and plant. If I can find them now. I've lost them. Well, the local municipality brought down two stacks of trees, so 40 trees, and I had to pay 2,000 euros for those trees, and now I have to go and plant those trees as well. And I literally cannot find the trees that they brought. That is sterling. Maybe somebody stole them in the night. I don't know. Well, we'll have to go and get that sorted out. So, where we're at the moment is Uncle Paolo. Nothing's been confirmed. It's only been a day since I found out what's happened, and it's only been a couple of days since he got arrested. I've been told that I am able to use the piece of equipment that he left for me. So this Mahindra that I've got, I may not sell it. I may not. If I do any damage to it, I have to repair it back to the original condition I had it in until the case is over. And even during the case, there might be a point in which they feel that this is something that was bought with illicit income, and then I have to go and return it anyway. So I have to make the maximum use of what I've got, and I've been given a window of about 2 weeks because of COVID and all those kinds of things. Court cases are not as quick as they would normally be, even though they can be really drawn out. But this is just a preliminary hearing, and my understanding is it normally only takes a few days for them to then decide if they're going to proceed with the case or not. If they proceed with the case, everything goes away. I lose the Mahindra, I lose the piece of property that I'm on. The 2 trailers I bought with money that I made off the property, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky again. Thanks for the follow, Googlo Verslex. Thanks, man, or lady. So in any case, I lose pretty much everything. So I also went and found out what happens if the court case goes through and he is convicted, or at least assets are seized. What happens with the money that I've made, and what happens with the equipment that I've bought. And the understanding is that I have to return half of everything that I make on this property, and I have to show that I have not, I haven't earned the money in any way that is illegal. So essentially the reason for half is because I'm putting in the labor to actually go and do all the work. So that's where we stand. So so I'm going to get along with chopping some trees down. The idea here is I want to actually get this whole area cleared and possibly have a homestead on here. To start with, I've got a place to stay. It's costing me 250 euros a night because it's quite a big place apparently, even though it doesn't have a toilet. And I'm paying 100 euros a night for the chipper that is in place. So unfortunately I can't go and sell that chipper. I can't return it. All I can do is stop paying the 100 euros, and that's on contract for 7 days, which I can continue if I want to, but it just depends on how successful I am. Now, I've been shopping around a little bit. That's interesting. Go away. I've been shopping around a little bit, and as much as this is an old little village, there's nothing here in terms of cheap equipment. There's some like motor vehicles that we found that are pretty decent, but the general rule is that it's all new equipment, and because I'm a foreigner, I can't lease any equipment. So even the cheapest tractor, I've fortunately got a bit of some prices. The cheapest tractor that I can get is 59,000, and that tractor it's only got a rear 3-point hitch. It doesn't have a front hitch on it. All it can do is it can do wide and double wides and narrows, so not a lot of options there. 59,000 euros. I've been working pretty much all through the night, and I've only gotten to 21,000 euros. So I'm a long way off the 59. And then on top of that, I still need to go and buy myself some equipment to go and clear the area that I've worked on. So I'm not going to worry about getting grabs or anything like that. I'm just chopping everything small enough that I can use it. But I'm going to need a stump grinder, which is another 5,000. But I need a tractor to put that onto. So we're looking at 64,000 euros that I need before I can do anything. Then I want to go and do things like I want to go and get a plow. So if I can get a tractor with a plow, there are contracts available that I can go and do with that tractor and plow. It's not going to pay for the tractor and plow, but it is going to put me in a position where at least I can get some revenue in. So it is a little bit of a slow process, but I'm certain we'll get there. I'm hoping that there's some good news coming back from Uncle Paolo and everything that's happening with him. And we'll only know in the coming weeks. Yes, the 21,000 is purely from cutting down trees. There's no other income. In fact, there's only money going out at the moment. So I'm looking at, I can make about 40,000 a day if I really push hard. Maybe a little bit less than that. Maybe about 30,000 a day if I really push hard. And I'm hoping that I can meet up with some people, but because of the circumstances at the moment, nobody wants to go and speak to anybody. Nobody wants to leave their houses. Nobody wants to take the risk. So it is a very tricky space. It's kind of scary at the same time because I can't speak the language. I don't understand, the culture. I don't understand the people. The people I've met have been friendly enough, but they're not going to go and stick their neck out for somebody they don't know. So I'm pretty much in a position where I'm kind of accepted, but I'm still an outsider, and I'll be an outsider for a long time to come yet. The only people that I've met in country is the few people that I've needed to deal with. So the shop that I go and buy the equipment from, the two trailers, and then where I picked up the Mahindra from when I originally arrived. And on top of that, I've met the landlord of the house that I'm staying. A very nice lady, but I think she can say hello, and that is about it. So it is a pretty scary place to be at the moment. But we're getting there. I'm certain we'll get on top of this. All right, I just have to remind you guys, when you join the stream, please do go and click on the link here, and all you have to do is follow a few channels and follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, and you will be able to enter for the DLC, the Alpine Farming DLC. I am willing to swap it for the base game if you don't have the base game. So it is a negotiable price at least. So I hope whoever wins it can get the maximum use out of it. Alrighty, so what I've been doing with my trees is I've just been going along and chopping them all into bite-sized loads and taking them through to the saw point. Unfortunately, these trees are pretty heavy, so I can't go and do these huge pieces. I don't have a forklift or anything like that, or a front loader at least, that I can go and load these trunks up in one go. That would be the ideal position. I could be making 50,000, maybe 100,000 a day if I had the right equipment. But unfortunately, Murphy has not put me in the position that I have that luxury available to me. But I've learned how to do this nice and quickly, so hopefully we can get a few thousand down. And the first vehicle I'm looking to buy, which will help us improve our kind of maneuverability, is we found the 82S single cab. The double cab's a little bit pricey, but we found the single cab, which is only going to cost 28,000 if we don't take any kind of extra frills and whatever else. We can take the bigger motor, which doesn't push it up too much. That bigger motor does allow us to pull bigger trailers. So we're looking at 30,200, And then on top of that, we've got all these attachments. We've got the load box. We've got a flatbed with a trailer hitch on it. We've got a tip-up unit. So it's not very big. It's 8,000 liters, but it's 8,000 liters more than we had. The trailers we've got at the moment, these are for that vehicle. They can handle probably about 4 tons a piece. So I could do a logger trailer with 2 trailers behind it, and I can do probably about 5,000 or 6,000 on a load. Or I can, because I don't have a lot of money, I can maybe look at getting the load box instead, and using that. I can throw logs in there as well. It doesn't strap down as neatly. So if you look at this, but that does put us in a position when we start harvesting and we start doing contracts and that kind of thing, we can actually use that vehicle. It's quite a versatile vehicle. So it is essentially a get around and a replacement for, quite a low end replacement for a tractor, just to get us off the ground. So I'm thinking that we want to go, we've got 2 trailers already. We want to maybe take the tippet as well, and we're looking at 33,700 that we need. We're not far off. I don't want to sell the trailer that we've got at the moment, because we're just going to use that on the existing vehicle. The other nice thing that I've got is I've been working out a bit, and as you can see, this log that I've just put on is 180 kilos. So being out in the bush, having to do everything myself is maybe not such a bad thing. It's taught me to be a little bit more self-sufficient, and it's taught me what it's like to have, just do a good old-fashioned hard day's work. We got a bit of jitter here. Sorry, guys. This was fine earlier. I wonder what's happening with my camera. Okay, let's just go there. No, that's not working. Alright, just give me a second. I just want to give the server a quick reboot. It looks like we're just having some camera issues. Okay, Engorged Rabbit, that's cool. Be right back. Okay, so just give me a moment. Sorry guys, just having a little bit of a technical issue there with any luck, we should be okay now. That looks a bit smoother. Alright, great stuff. So apologies for that. I just needed to give the map a little bit of a restart, and it's got the cobwebs out of its ears. Hopefully it doesn't give us a hard time again. Alrighty, so where I was just working on the logs. So now, if you've got any suggestions as to what I should do around just getting some extra money in, I've gone around the local village and that kind of thing, and I'm just not finding a any traction with anybody. I see a lot of job postings, but it's all bring your own equipment job postings. So unfortunately, these postings do discriminate against me a little bit. You know, I'm hoping we can get on top of these and get them sorted out. Alright, so there we should be back on stream again. There we go. Alright. Come on. These logs are pretty heavy. You've got to take your time with them a little bit. Otherwise they just fly all over the place. Looking at 124 kilos. Like I said, after maybe a month of this, I would give some bodybuilders a run for their money. The other problem with this is you can't cut these logs too long because it flips up the trailer. So it's just a little Mahindra. It doesn't have as much power as we'd like it to have. So every time, as soon as you load it a bit heavy, it just flips up the nose, and then you end up with the wheels in the air, or the nose in the air, the nose in the air, or the rear wheels in the air, depending on where the load balance is. So that's been fun. I've driven out to the chipper a few times and ended up having to pick up everything I've just loaded and brought through off the ground because I've taken a corner a little bit wildly, and yeah, that's not fun at all. So anyways, I may have cut these a little bit badly, but when we get to the thinner logs we can go a little bit longer. It's just those very big short logs that are an issue. Okay, so one of the things I did do is I've kept this map, or at least this game, standard. I have not added any excessive mods, although I did add a few things like being able to modify the pricing, modify the times, that kind of thing, just so that, you know, any events in the game don't mess up the series. And then also I've gone and added a few things like a chainsaw mod, where it just makes the chainsaw a little bit more realistic. And I also put in a real dirt mod, so you get stuck in the mud. You know, it's got to be as real as possible. It's all about immersion. It's all about getting the right view of the game and the right experience. So I'm hoping this works out, and I'm hoping you guys enjoy it. With any luck, I'll be able to go and get that first vehicle. I just got to decide what's going to be the wiser choice, is having a vehicle that can move more logs, or getting a tractor that can actually go and cut out all the stumps and start getting us some arable land, or maybe do some contracts. So on the contracts front, these are available. There are jobs that I can do, but unfortunately I don't have any of this equipment available. So even if I have a little tractor, I can't go and do anything like this. So the simplest thing to get into is to go do plowing. And if I look at the amount of time it'll take me to plow with a small little tractor, with a small plow, I could rather just go and clear all the timber off the field and not pay in anything. So like this little job over here, that would be reasonable because it's not an excessive amount of work. So 1,600 with that small tractor on field 16 would probably take me That's about a 30-minute job, if I give or take a little bit. So the idea is I want to maybe see if I can't get, because those trailers that I've got, the log component can actually fold away, so it becomes a flatbed. So they're multi-purpose. So that's why I bought 2 of them. So I can go and do lots of little transport jobs. All I need is a vehicle that can lift the load. So I could cheat a little bit and drive really slowly through town and maybe risk a fine and take the little forklift, and that is a lot cheaper. So if we look at the forklift, that's only 37,000, and that gives me 26 kilowatts. I'll be able to pull those 2 trailers, and I'll be able to do the loads, and I'll be able to move it around town, and I'd be fine. And that, although wouldn't make me much money very quickly, it will put me in a position that I am capable of doing more. Still goes without saying that having a decent tractor is the most versatile approach, and it's the best way of doing it. So I think maybe what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick with the tractor idea, just get it up to the what did I say, 65,000 number that I was talking about, so that I can get this field plowed and start getting maybe some grass or something in here, and then start doing little plowing contracts, and hopefully build my tool chest from there. This little Mahindra is also pretty handy. You can take the little logs right at the back here. Alright, so alright, so let's go and get this big guy over here, and maybe we can get a load back. And then once this load's done, maybe we can go take a little bit of an adventure around the town. Maybe see if we can't meet somebody. Learn a new language, I don't know. Hopefully I meet somebody who can at least speak a little bit of English, or someone who can translate for us. It would be nice to have a little bit more social interaction than I've been having. I would say this is probably not far off what prison would be like. You know, you can't do anything that you want to do. You're kind of completely stranded and you're stuck. And yeah, it's just not a great place to be. So let's hope that we can fix this. And yeah, cameras are giving a little bit of an issue again. I think there's too much cut wood around. Come on. Okay, great. So it seems to be having a little bit of a wobble. So apologies for the camera quality. Hopefully it'll go away when we start driving. And then maybe we can convince somebody to be nice enough to us to maybe loan us a tractor, maybe allow us to go and do maybe a job on their farm or something. I don't know. I haven't seen what's going on in the village. So let's stick at this job for another few minutes. Hopefully I'm not chopping these branches too long that I can't pick them up. Fortunately, let's see how much I can pick up. 153 kilos. I think the biggest I've picked up is 180, which is doable. You have to be a pretty strong guy to pick up 180 kilos like I just did, but you know, it's a doable number. Okay. Okay, so that should be fine. Don't want to overload this thing. I do have to return it, and if anything's broken, well, I have to pay for it. So maybe that one last cut log. That should be about 3, maybe 4,000 euros. Just so that you're aware, for realism on it, this map is set to maximum, to the highest difficulty, or at least it's got all the maximum difficulty settings set. So economic difficulty is hard, crops fail, there's weeding, there's plowing required, and everything you can think of is enabled. So let's just go like this. So the amount of times I've been up and down this road already, I've discovered that 26 kilometers an hour is the nice sweet spot with this little vehicle. It can handle that without rolling over. And yes, I have rolled this over a few times. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording at the time, so yeah, I missed the fun and couldn't play it back for you. Okay, 24 out of 100. So we're driving for a little bit of a followers push, and that is going to, we're targeting 100, but we need 50, and we're actually just gone on to 30, so we're not far away. Only got 20 more followers to go. So please, if you enjoy the channel, please on the YouTube side hit the like button, and on the Twitch side and the YouTube side, please just give us a follow, and yeah, we'll see what competitions we can get going. Okay, Engorged Rabbit. Sorry, I didn't see your message here. I was looking at the wrong channel. Yeah, please just tell me what the mic's like now. Okay, cool. Thanks, I appreciate that. Alrighty, so I do apologize if there's a little bit of static on the mic. I seem to think that I might have one of those cheapos, so I will get something a little bit of better quality before my next stream, and hopefully not burst your eardrums. Excellent. All right, great stuff. Alrighty, so this is a bit of a tedious track. What I did find out, though, that something I do have to add, is the police officer that basically gave me the rap of the knuckles. He told me that there are small contracts available with some of the farms up to the northern end of the property, and basically all they want is they want a roadway cleared through a piece of land, so they can develop the land, and I will not get paid, but I will get all the timber that's on that property, and it's much more mature timber than I've got at the moment. So that does sound quite promising. So let's see, maybe I can get that done. The area that they want to have cleared is up here by field 14. They want to actually turn this into a bit of a golf course, and they want to take that section over there, and they want to clear out a path through the trees. Not everything, just a section. So it's a clearly defined cut, and this whole piece of field here is going to become I believe, a golf course, including this piece down at the bottom over here. So right place, right time, hopefully, and if I can get a little bit of work out of the locals, and I can make a few friends in the process, that will definitely go a long way to make my stay here a lot more comfortable. Yeah, as far as the stay is concerned, I do have a little bit of an issue where I've got to go and make sure that I cover all my own expenses until the court case is done. I'm not allowed leaving the country because I might get indicted as an accomplice. But the lawyer says there shouldn't be any issue there because I wasn't even in country when the apparent crime was committed, and that I can prove that I was in no way in contact prior to that time. However, until the case has come to its conclusion, which, if we're lucky, is going to be in 2 weeks based on the preliminary hearing, or it could take several months depending on what comes out of that hearing. So I've got to make a plan and make a living here. If it does go further, then I've got to find a way of surviving for at least 2 months, possibly 4 or 5, without any kind of assistance or any kind of income. My uncle Paolo, when he invited me over, he pretty much said that he would provide all the equipment I need, but it would be my responsibility to make the money that I needed to survive. Which, not having to go and grind for 100, 200,000, 300,000 rands with the equipment, does put me, would have put me in a position where I would have been earning from day one, instead of having to break my back trying to get a really terrible tractor. I'm not knocking the Fiat, they're absolutely lovely, but they are not the most powerful. They are incredibly slow, but they're functional. So, don't knock what you can get, I suppose. Maybe I'm lucky and we can find a second-hand vehicle, but I'm not holding my breath for that. The little shop that's here is pretty basic. It's, all their stock is held, at their head office that's further north into Italy, and they don't bring anything to the shop. Everything as you buy it is delivered and dropped off like that. And the salesperson, the little bit of English that I could get out of him, he was pretty clear that they only do new equipment. But they do really economy equipment in typical Italian flair. So yeah, let's hope we can figure something out. I don't want to be, having to beg my way back to South Africa again. It's not a very appealing idea. And hey, maybe I'll just stay here. If things work out, maybe I can build a bit of a life here. Maybe this is not a bad thing. Maybe this is a good move. I mean, there's nothing left for me in South Africa, so I've got to take what I can get. Alrighty. Okay, so these little pieces over here, they do fold away. The tailgate does close. So that's a flatbed loader there that I can use, and it does strap down. So it's actually quite a versatile piece of equipment. So as promised, let's take a little bit of a tour around the village. The little bit that I have learnt, this is all part of the property that I'm staying on. As I said yesterday or on my last vlog, I unfortunately cannot use any of this. However, I have been told that if I make a reasonable offer, I can rent it for a period of time. So for now, I'm paying $250 for the house, but I do have all of the storage available, and they've given kind of a guideline just so I knew what it was worth. I'm looking at approximately 300 euros per building that I'm going to be using. Okay, unfortunately, let me just check something quickly if I can post that in there. I'm trying to see if I can just put some information across on my channel. There we go. Alrighty. First person to comment on my own stream. That is a little bit sad. Corona, yeah. La Coronella over here. There's the house. I did show it to you last time. And there's a few other properties available over here. But if we take a little bit of a tour around this side, you'll see that there are factories available. There are sell points available. There's a hay storage area that I could even use that. That's part of the main farm. There's a lot of very mountainous, twisty kind of areas. If I look at the fields that are here, most of them are on quite an incline. So we're going to make sure that when we do get a tractor, that it's something that has enough horsepower to be able to pull the vehicles up the hill, and make sure that we you know, we can pull a big enough plow or seeder or cultivator behind the vehicle and make sure everything's going from there. A couple of things I did find out from the police officer is that in terms of sales, I fortunately don't need any kind of permit for farm produce. So if I had to, oops, that's not great. If I had to go and sell anything like wheat or barley or anything of that nature, that would be fine. The only problem is with timber, they're very environmentally conscious in this little village, and you'll see there's an enormous amount of trees around this area, and you know it is pretty densely packed, and they pretty much have a quota that they stick to. This quota I've been messing with because I've now chopped down, I think, about 30 trees. Okay, that is not great. So the agreement is that for every tree I chop down, I have to plant 2 more, and I have to pay for the trees that are being planted. So at €1,000 a pop, I got to be careful with what trees I'm cutting out and how many I'm cutting out, and I can't be wasteful with anything that I'm using. So there is a potato sell point over here. One of the things that we have been told that we can do in this area is we can do premium potatoes. There we might be able to get a farmer to assist us by giving us the equipment to do it with on their fields, and we take a percentage of the money that comes in. But we don't have anything that's in crop at the moment, and we haven't got any farmers that are interested in dealing with us as yet. So that is, I'm used to driving on the other side of the road. Sorry. Alrighty, so the other thing I wanted to show you as well is nothing opens until 9 o'clock in this little town. They're got a very laid-back approach to, I don't know, fiscal responsibility, I suppose. Let's just jump past this guy quickly. Whoa. These Mahindras are cute, but they're very, very tricky. So I just want to go down to the shop, and even if we wanted to, we wouldn't be able to go and buy the equipment we're looking for, because it opened early today. Maybe it's a seasonal thing. So this normally closes at 9. Alright, so here's a little shop. There is nothing in it. There's some gardening equipment, lawn mowers, that type of thing, but nothing really. There is an ATM over here, but you know, our finances are all over the place because we had a whole lot of money that we were holding for Uncle Paulo. I hope that doesn't come back and bite us later. There's a little bit of a workshop here. We had to pay for the one piece of land that's we own. Well, he owns here, and that left us just with I think it was £100 that we had after all that was done. And we have subsequently gone and bought trailers and made some money. Alright, let me go the other way around. Show you the bottom end of the farm, of the property. So this is one of the fields that I'm very interested in buying. So this field over here, it is not really the crop we want to do at the moment, but if we look at the size of the property and we look at the grass field over there, I'd like to possibly buy this field over here, keep it under grass, and buy this field over here and segment a small piece off the corner and put some cattle in and build up that area. And if you look If we follow the river, that actually goes and touches on the property that we're busy cleaning up at the moment. So if we can get fields 32, 33, and 34 and 29, that gives us that section of property that we want to develop. However, we need about €1 million before we can even consider having that discussion. But that is our goal. We want to have all the right equipment in place. We want to buy those pieces of land, and we want to ensure that we are able to farm those lands effectively. Just on the Gleam giveaway on the Alpine DLC, that is not restricted to anybody as a new follower. Any existing followers will have access to that as well. So if you followed my channel, you already automatically entered. Go over to my Twitter channel and go and follow on there as well. And you know, every follow that you do is worth multiple entries. There will be several competitions over a period of time. I'm looking to do, you know, more and more inclusive prizes. Right now we're very farming simulator orientated, so it'll be the base game, it'll be some of the DLCs, but I will be looking at doing, you know, subscriptions to other games, maybe season passes. You know, it depends on what you guys like. I've got a possibility of a farming simulator prize that's going to be, not farming simulator, flight simulator prize that's going to be coming up in the next while. I also am looking at some prizes around Fall Guys, in-game credits for, you know, Apex and Fortnite and that type of game, and we'll see, you know, as we go, what everybody likes and what they want to use. I'd ideally like to stay in games that I stream on or play myself. Destiny. Alright, I'll definitely look at maybe something within Destiny. So anybody who's interested in Destiny, give us a, you know, give us a thumbs up, give us a yay, give us a hype, and we'll maybe look at getting a Destiny prize going for our next draw. And then we'll look at building a regular prize pool. Maybe once a month we'll do a game, and then we'll do maybe Steam credit, maybe to the value of maybe $50 or so. That should cover you for most games on the market at the moment. Maybe $60, just depending on what's good at the time, and we'll see from there. Wow, this little thing is terrible. Or then again, I could just be a terrible driver. Come on. What did I do? There's some kind of a post box idea that I'm stuck on. Now, if only we can put a 3-point linkage on this little Mahindra. We would do absolutely nothing with it, but it would be curious and it would be fun. Alrighty, that was a pointless exercise. If we were just paying attention to the road, that would not have happened. Fortunately, other than trees, this town's pretty laid back. You know, you can do pretty much what you like in the traffic and you'll be fine. Okay, let's keep going. Lots of cars lying around with no wheels on. This is quite interesting. So as I promised in my first vlog that I did, I'm not going to do video editing on these vlogs. I'm going to keep them pretty raw. As it's happening, you'll be able to see what's going on. But in this, to keep it as efficient as possible and keep it away from being tedious and long-winded or anything like that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do about an hour stream of what I'm doing, and that'll normally be my morning routine. And then what I'll do is between streams, I will then go and do the day to day. I will go and clean out this entire area over here. So let me show you what I'm planning to do. So if you look at this field here, let's just go this way. If you look at this field over here, even despite this little rise over here, there's a nice big field over there. I've been told I'm not allowed touching the road, so I have to keep it clear of the road. So I can make a little bit of a homestead over here, just put a garage and whatnot over here, just something to cover the vehicles. And with all the trees that I have to replant, what I'm thinking of doing is I want to line the one side of the road, maybe on the tar road side or maybe on the road itself, seeing as though I can't touch the road or use it or plow it over at all. This upper area over here is also fairly big. It is a bit narrow, but this is great for doing grass and that kind of thing. I can go all the way up to this end over here. It's not ideal for planting like an arable crop because it is a little bit uneven, and I can't use the space at the top here anyway. The grass I can cut all the way to the road. Arable crop I have to stay a little bit away. And then carrying on to the rest of the property, let me show you what all I've got. Carrying on to the rest of the property, I've got all the way to the end of here, and I've got this big open area over here. So if I can chop out all these trees, I can make this a piece of arable land. And that can run all the way up this side, all the way to the end. As long as I don't touch the road, I can plant all the way up to here. Even though it's a little bit of an incline, a machine will handle that just fine. And then ultimately, this top piece over here will be where I put, once I get to that point, I'll put a house up here. So I'll maybe have a small shed up top here and a small shed at the bottom. I'll make this all, that can be all grasslands, that can be all arable, maybe some soybeans or something of that nature, and get that piece of land developed like that. But right now I'm just chopping trees down because I don't want to go and put in hundreds of thousands of euros into developing this place and hundreds of hours, and only to find that it's going to be taken away because maybe Uncle Paolo did something wrong. And I just got to add one item, before I do close off the vlog. Uncle Paolo is actually my uncle. He's my mother's brother, and well, we always knew him as Paul, for the longest time. And he moved over to Italy about 12 years ago, and he's become a citizen, and he's done everything he needs to do, and he's bought himself land all over the country. And he invited me out after the unfortunate tragic events I went through. So I had nothing to lose. He needed somebody he could trust, and kind of that's where this all came from. I'm just hoping that what they're saying has happened is not true, and that Uncle Paolo is not the man that they said he is. But it is what it is. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. I have really enjoyed making this video for you. I hope that we can continue with these vlogs, and that by the time you next see me, there will probably be another 30 or 40 trees being taken out, and I will have to go and replant all the new trees, and I'll stick them all along these rough edges so that my vehicles don't go off the edge and along the road there, like I said earlier. Yeah, thank you very much, and good night.